Alrighty, team. This is how we're doing today. Sorry I'm making this video a little late, but it's going to be pretty much talk about our revenue today and our amazing alerts that happened. That I was kind of running pretty good profit at the end of the day, and we're gonna see where we came from and where we at. And here in a minute, you can see my list here. Pretty much, I keep it short. It's an hour, 30%, not bad. Okay, so I'll keep it short. I try to have a small list to be able to see and focus. I don't try to be everywhere the place. If I see something, I add it. If it doesn't do what I wanted to do, I remove it right then. So I don't keep it all day. I'm switching back and forth, and I only keep who I'm trying to reattack that I know that should be BWAP testing, 1 minute resetting, and running profit right after. So those are the kind of tickers that I would rather keep and watch, which is in this area here. And then I'm about to show you guys, which I'm running here in the Discord, today's alert, and pretty much the positions that I will kind of taking to explain. Even yesterday, the HDSN did amazing. That it was alerted to 227. It was on here. They were still watching it for a while, but I took it out. HDSN. Look at this run. Beautiful run up to 75. And it was alerted here at 228 right here before this higher high. But that was the intentions, right? It's a higher high of 238, 240. Sometimes you just don't know how long it's going to run or how much it's going to run, get faked out or something like that. So it's good to be able to lock profit or when you make the PT or make the plan. PT's profit take. So when you make the profit take, that is the idea, to kind of have the idea to lock, because that's your profit or that's your potential when you base the ticker before you even ran that long, right? If you have it at 240, 242, and then you take profit, and if he flushes back, you're gonna be, feeling good about it that he took profit. If it keeps running, then I know he's gonna feel some type of way, but at the same time, it's gonna be good that you're not sitting in red. It's not you lose profit, and your trade came through when you predicted it, when you did at what price, and it ran your prediction. So that's what matters overall. It's the green trade. So okay, so we're gonna start right here. Where we at right now today? BBW potential for 12 plus high low risk on daily dip and ride. We're gonna show you here what the screen showed. It showed 1149, 1069. Previous previous daily risk would have been at least 10, 950. So now where we're sitting, 1113. And then screenshots, 1104, it had a nice little gap in candles, which you're gonna notice here in the candles. There was a 1114, 1106, and then it was 1110. 11.5 is something based on the spread. Spread is bid and ask. So now 1106, the ticker was alerted, and you're gonna notice that the plan came in from daily channel uptrend. What I'm noticing in here is, as soon as market opens, I like seeing what's being built as soon as market opens, right? Because the earlier of the day, you can have 4-day runners based on what the candle is, or how it's been behaving previous days. So what I'm trying to say is, if previous days been climbing, why wouldn't I want to get in now and let it out climb some more? So especially risking the climb, respected that it's doing. And we're gonna start with this one first. So PT for this one, let me put this go back in. So it's BBW. Let's go to BBW. Where's BBW at? BBW is build a better workshop. I think it's the build. Yep, that's the build little bears. Okay, so we're gonna notice this. You see this? This is the intention that the reason that it caught my attention was whenever this ticker was right here at the 1111. Momentum K was barely right here. It was in the 92 area. 92, probably 85. Now it's sitting in the 96. You're right, about 7 points, 8 points. But in the ticker here is it means that it's been building up here. So there's a good chance that one of these, candles, but not just today, that wasn't just my intentions also, but it was an opportunity that it could push like this and hold a higher low, and then we hold it for next day or give us a whole day run. So no, the reason that this ticker has, it kind of my attention was because of this. We have a daily uptrend. And if I look into deeper, which weekly uptrend, we got a weekly uptrending looking up in the K, which is the orange line. And you're going to see every single week it's been doing a what? A higher high, and a higher high. This thing was sitting in the 11. No, it was sitting by the 11, somewhere here. So what I'm saying is overall week, meaning that this ticker was going to run for the, for the whole week. So if K is pointing up, he can fill this candle, into a higher high because he's done it before. He's run big candles of bullish. But my intentions here is, and my interest was the weekly uptrending. Weekly uptrending, daily uptrending, but not just daily uptrending. Look at this 4 hours. 4 hours was uptrending when? It was uptrending right here. Very at the start of the recovery, that 4 hours was just recovered K over D. So given that potential is that 4 hours updates about 3 times, which is updates at 9:30 New York time, 8:30 my times in the morning, updates at 12:30 p.m. So that's 4 hours later. And then it updates at 3 o'clock, which is my time, Central Time, for New York time. So knowing that this ticker can update 4 times, this thing, the K can update 1, 2, 3, and 4 and be a bullish runner. But not just because of 4 hours. I'm basing this because of daily. I'm basing it because of weekly. And let's see, monthly. Monthly, same thing. It should be a bullish month for what? For May. And what's been doing since May? Look at this run. It came from 786 since May, running on May, $13. So it's about 100% profit. So what I'm saying is, you're going to see that I even have something that I was coming from before. So long story short is why this ticker came into my mind early in the morning. As soon as I opened it up, it was sitting at 11. I see daily bullish. I see weekly bullish in momentum, and I see it building up in trend. So let's break it down here in trend because I took out the trend lines that I had earlier. If we put a simple trend line, you're gonna know the respect here. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it has to be perfect, but you have to make sure that those wicks bodies, touches your trend because that's what matters. On the risks, what matters is your higher lows. You got this one. Let's make your higher lows with this line. So you got a higher low here. You got a higher low here. You got another higher low here. And it's so on, right? And then you got the last higher low, which should be before the previous high. So now you got, an uptrend, but also by risk. You got risk. If you would have attacked this, attacking this, this would have been your risk. Attacking this area, this would have been your risk. Attacking this area, this would have been your risk. And what would have been your risk? Your risk would have been at least, 950, 10. Sorry about that. So it should have been 10. And, to make sure that his kid's running because he does a lot of wicks. Knowing that he respects, does a lot of wicks, but he's respecting trend, you're going to need to understand that you don't want a wick to stop you out. You want to make sure that you have a nice risk where you don't miss the overall run. So that's just based on this. So remember, as soon as market opens, what did I check? I checked the daily, I checked the weekly, and the 4 hours. Now, important factor, if you got to this point here and if you're really interested, in learning, this is something that you're going to want to learn. Don't let daily ever sit on a gap. If you see what I mean by that gap is it ran so much in market opens and it's sitting such in a big gap. Let's go back to the faders. And that is going to be your main factor. And then we come back to the other tickers. So BMW, the reason that I like that ticker is because I like that was sitting no gap. It was an uptrend daily. Uptrend daily means that every single candle was uptrending. So there was no, not a big not a big gap sitting. And what I mean by that big gap, I'm gonna show you what a big gap means. And so when it comes to the idea is that you want to avoid gaps. Let's go to here to top gainers. And let's go see to the ones that faded at pre-market, right? Let's see the ones that were faded pre-market. We got one here, which is NB. Remember how much this thing ran? Even 44% and pre-market, running 212 price. Look where he's at, 150 at the end of the day. Let me show you this downtrend real quick. Look at this huge downtrend. That's a perfect example, because look what happened. It faded the whole day. Now, where did this thing open? At 255. Where's 255? Look at where 255 is at. Actually, when did it open? Let me see this candle. Where it says open at? Open, 214. So it opened at 214. 214, look right here. Last candle when? Last candle was sitting at 150. And then he opened up at 214. That's a huge gap. You do not even want to attack that, because I'm going to show you the candle here. I'm going to show you the 2 minutes. Actually, I'm going to show you 2 minutes because the 2 minutes doesn't give me the whole print. I'm going to show you 5 minutes. You see this? Market opens open at 214, which should have been around this area. 214, around this area. Actually, it's right here. Sorry, it's right here. This is pre-market. So market opens right here, 214, fades whole day. Why? Because like I said, it was sitting in a huge gap. I'm talking about this thing opened up right here, 214. Look at this huge amount of gap. That's just the first one, right? Example, because it ran pre-market. Let's go to the next one, PRRS. Look, another perfect example. Look where he opened up. Where did he say it opened? He opened up at 501. It faded to a low of 334. That is pretty crazy. If you would have chased this thing in pre-market, when this thing was sitting at such a high open at 501, look where 501 was at. 501 was right here. This is huge gap. You don't want to attack that, because let me go back to 5 minutes. Look at this. A full fade. You want to make sure that your candles are uptrending close by. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't want to make sure that one candle from yesterday it's at 5 and the next candle is at 10. All you're doing is about to catch a fade, an easy fade, because you could have been avoided it instead of attacking in the uptrend. So let's go back to another one, ITP. This is pre-market that ran pre-market. Look at this fade, 60 pre-market. And since pre-market, look at this. It opens up right here. I'm sure you open up at 58. If I show you the daily candle right now, you're going to know that the pre-market is not going to show nothing on the daily. All it's going to show is that it opened at 58 to fade the whole day way down. Let's go up there. Boom. See this fade? Open us up one. Let me show you the candle in this candle area. I'm about to show you here. Look, open 58, close 49. I mean 48. Well, 49, right? But look at the fade. Where it opens up, even 58. Look at such a big gap. You don't want to attack that. You want to make sure that it's uptrending. If you would have had this support, you would have this pre-market would have been your profit take. Why wouldn't you take profit in that, right? Because you know that pre-market is running so much and you got about to catch and then fade in the market open. So you don't want to attack that. It's attacking those tickers sometimes that have such a big gap. And that's why the reason I wait for market opens, because we're not seeing continuations. All we're seeing is crazy market open. I mean, crazy pre-markets, crazy after hours pops, and we're not seeing continuations, which it could, consolidates after hours to run the next day, or probably dips a little bit after hours to run the higher high next day. So what I'm trying to explain is you don't want to, attack tickers that are just in gaps. So that's just one TP. ITP, let me see. Let me show you one more gap so I can kind of go back to the tickets I was explaining. For example, this one. This is what I mean. You see, this is the gap. It's an example picture that he held price. He held price why? Because, daily is bullish, which is fine. But this is, even then, even if he held price, what? I wouldn't be attacking this. I would not even, look at the gap that is sitting. Where do you see such a gap? Even this one, look. You see how it fills the gap? And then, this gap is going to be filling. So what I'm saying is ideally go with puts and let this gap fill into back to 175, because this is already setting up. So that's just an example of gaps. You don't want the gap to for you to catch gaps and then catch a fade. Even this is a beautiful hold, but even then, it didn't do nothing all day. It didn't run bullish because of the gap. It was people already taking profit, and they make the ticker any stronger. So even this one held pretty nice. There's some that hold nice, and there's some, that do nothing. But even that ticker, you can see that he probably pushed up. Let's see where I can't remember which one, the one I looked in there, but see if we can explain one more pre-market. This is a nice one too to start entering for a nice pop coming in. I bet this is a low float. Ooh, it's ready to pop. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. I'll add that there because I like that. That should be giving me a pop real soon. Oh yeah, I should be giving a pop. Look at this buy top wicks. It goes from 5 to 6, so over 6 PT. No, not bad. Okay, so that's just an example of of gaps. I don't want to go over too much of gaps because I want to explain the within here. Now, the next ticker that we went over was ASXC. AXXZ. I learned at 227. Running PT was 245, 260, and he ran 295. So let's see why. Look at this. My main intention was because we got a weekly reset. We got a daily uptrending. You see this daily uptrending? It was small, and that's why I didn't want to keep attacking it after I ran PT because I was like, okay, this is gonna end up being in a fade. So I don't want to, catch a fade. And because he did run 294, but I'm okay with what I got. So now the reason I alerted this ticker was because this. Whenever I alerted this, remember it was a 227, it was here. And if we go right here, 227, K on 4 hours was uptrending. After the fade, that's fine. Like I say, it was fading. That was after. That's where you're gonna see the after update. But whenever I was watching it, let's go here. You're going to notice it was uptrending early in the morning, right? And then you're gonna notice, look at 4 hours. You see 4 hours, how it looked here? That's what caught my attention. But it caught my attention for market open to midday because I knew that if that K, which is right here, look, if that K was uptrending or updating up, it's gonna run at least market open for the first 2-3 hours, and then it's gonna fade and pull back into midday because if it's pointing up market open to midday, what's gonna happen in midday is gonna update down, which is you're gonna see here. That's what it did. Look up and then it pointed down. So that's what kind of you have to be able to predict the pattern that the Fed do. So now it was bullish to me. I went forward and we took a dip. I learned it for 1 minute reset dips. Let me zoom out here. Let's go back to 5 minutes. You see this ticker? I'm talking about it was alerted here, 220, 228 right here. And then it ran this much, and then 5 minutes reset brought you to 243, taking you to 260. That would have been 20 cents. Another reset, 248, taking you to 272. That would have been 30 cents. That would have been 50 cents. And like I said, end of fade. Once this BWAP comes in and it's 2 o'clock already, EOD, it's not going to run in the next hour and set up to run 294. It's, I mean, after hours already coming, it's going to be like where it's going to start losing steam. And that's what it did. Lose steam. It's holding price, but it's not longer my interest because my interest was at market open when I saw the 4 hours update. Now, it wasn't just the 4 hours that caught my attention. Like I said, I like checking the daily. You see, the daily was bullish to me when I saw it. I didn't show a screenshot here, but it was bullish to me when I saw it. Daily, a weekly, you got a weekly reset. What would the really reset means? That the previous week was bullish, the next week should be bullish and run higher highs. And that's exactly what it did today. And this is what's based on the prediction that came from before. So I'm all focused in the weekly, daily 4 hours, price action candle. And then what? Higher highs, higher lows, because I want to make sure that I'm risking higher lows to get into the higher highs. And even higher highs. Sometimes when I predict prices, my higher highs are just a little bit price over based on how much the ticker runs. I can't say if it's sitting at 220, right? I can't say PT is 4 and all it's done like in previous days 10 cents, 15 cents run. And the higher high, it's at 240 and it's sitting at 225. I can't say PT is 4 for the same day because it does not have the range to run dollars yet, or not even based on float. I'm going to be like, okay, it should be running a higher high, but I'm just going to put a PT of 5 more cents, of 10 more cents based that it should run the higher high and then go into a higher low, because that's how price moves. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And then when it goes down, it goes lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. And like I said, so it's just all based on action and based on what how you put it down and how you're reading things. My mind is differently to many, and that's all based on how well that the market handles or how it behaves. So this is just one weekly reset, daily uptrending. 4 hours was uptrending when I liked it. Candle was green buying. You had a higher high intentions, and that is the reason I went for it, because of the 4 hours higher high intentions. Because I'm gonna show you the picture here. You see this higher high here. Remember how PT I told you was 245, 260. See 260. I just ran a little bit higher high. And then what? 240, 245. So if we go back here to the alert, you're going to say that PT 245, 260. I was just looking for the higher high of this. Higher high of this. That's pretty much it. Based on what? And the momentum that tickers move higher high. You see, moves higher high, goes back down. Then it goes into another higher high and it goes back down. Sits up again to a higher low. So that is kind of you have to understand that sometimes you're not going to see such a long PT. All you're going to see is a higher highs PT. And now because, you're basing it on the momentum that you should be doing that just today, but just how 4 hours, daily, weekly, and all that is behaving in the momentum, candles, and price action. So let's go to the next one, which was Zoll. And that should be the last one for today. So, because I don't want to make this video too long, I want to make it short so I can be able to upload it today. So it's going to be quick. Okay, so for Soul, let's go to Soul. Soul was the next one that we alerted. Yep, we go. So potential for 880, be what dip and right, or 1 minute reset. Up to you. Risk is still the same, and that is the daily uptrend. Which, if you look here, daily uptrending was going up, selling, buying, but the red candles was also meaning that it was running pre-market, opening market highs and selling throughout the day to repeat the same thing. Next day, pre-market runs. This is the two red ones so close by. You can see that they're green. Opened up, run for the day, consolidated, and then at pre-market or after hours, he faded to open up again, ran up, and then blah blah blah. So that is kind of like just the idea of what the candles is. So for now is, if it's red, what was going to happen at least for Soul today? Green, because he's doing red to green, red, green, or to green. So if we got two reds to green, so there's a good chance that to green, the next green of today could have been strong for 88. I mean, for 88, 80, high. Sorry about that. I'm dying again there. Talking so fast, it dries my throat, so you can get to me sometime. But okay, so this Soul, I liked it because it was uptrending K on daily, right? So we're gonna go to Soul. Let's put it in 5 minutes. You see, it did a beautiful uptrend. Now, why was the learning of Soul? Soul potential for 880, be what dip and right, a 1 minute reset dip. You have 3 types of entries there, and all 3 types of entries ran the profit. So risk is still the same, higher lows, it's on the daily because it's running higher lows and it's running higher highs in the uptrend of daily. So now PT 480. Why did I like this ticker? I'm gonna show you another QT. Okay, see, 4 hours. Those 4 hours of subtrending, right? So my idea was that if 4 hours is subtrending on Soul and market opens, it's gonna run for the next 3 hours or so, and then probably pull back in the last hour before midday, or pull back into midday. And that's exactly what it did. Right? 9:15, pulling back into midday. Let me show you here. You see this time? 12:30. Remember how I was mentioning 4 hours update when? 12:30. When does it start? We see how beautiful this thing. When does it start downtrending? At 12:30. Pull back, right? Right after the update of 4 hours. So you have to understand how 4 hours changes how it behaves. That you want an uptrend daily, an uptrend 4 hours, an uptrend weekly, but especially an uptrend 4 hours. You don't want a downtrend K on 4 hours because you're about to sit, or you don't want to see, want to see a little hook, and it starts that little hook into D. So that's going to be like a whole day, or the first 4 hours, first 3 hours of fade into reverse when? At 12:30, when K updates again into an uptrend if it's zigzagging up. But for now, it was already updating up in his zones. So you can see it was up, So I know it was going to run for the next 2 hours or so, and then pull back into midday because that would have been the next update. Let's put it back on 4 hours and see where 4 hours ended up after you saw the bullish 4 hours. You see this? 4 hours, you got the pullback. Boom, boom. Look, pullback to 478, and then it goes up again, right? And you can see K goes up again. But let me show you. Pullback. Look, 882, and then we're sitting at right now, at 9 again. So that is kind of the idea that let's just say he's uptrending, right? And then he ended up being bullish. He ended holding price because 4 hours held price. 4 hours K respect to D. So my big important key here is to make sure that we're not sitting in a gap. That is the important key. You want to make sure that your daily is uptrending, because if I look at daily uptrending, you're gonna notice that it's daily uptrending. Well, we get a big candle, right? And if we look at BBW, BBW here, you're gonna notice daily, it's uptrending daily. Let's go to look at ACX. You see, you got an uptrend daily. He's not coming from a gap, or wasn't sitting in a gap when he opened up. And not just this one. If I were to open and show you top gainers, for example, Easy, you see I was sitting at support, and then I know it goes boom, booms up. But because, look how weekly finally crosses. Daily being stuck for so long, meaning that weekly was downtrending. You got the perfect downtrending to win. Finally go boom, boom. Last week was sitting in a nice little doji reverse mode, which today happened, preview pop. So that's just one. You're going to notice that it came from a support. It didn't come from a gap. This is a new IPO. BMW. I already showed you BMW. Pay new IPO. OMI. You see OMI coming from the same thing weekly, and then weekly goes up. But let's look at daily. You can probably daily most likely is uptrending. And you were sitting in the gap, like I said. Even this one was tricky. What this would have mean to me that is that I would have seen it at least up here at 37. My intention would have been, okay, this thing was a higher 40. Let me get in for 44. And, that's what had been the plan for that. At least after they wanted to have that intentions of running the higher high, but not while it was sitting in a gap. That would have not been my interest there. So even for this one, you're going to notice a look, uptrending daily, candle, and goes up. Uptrending 4 hours, it was uptrending whenever it was running. You can see the little small size right here, but it was uptrending. So this is just a small webinar that I wanted to kind of go over. Nothing much. We just explained the tickets I went over today. You saw the alert of profit take and entries. So now, when it comes to profit take, important key, higher highs, heat, but also time. You have to make sure how 4 hours update, when it updates, or sooner. So if you know that 15 minutes heat, 1 hour is about to be before 12:30, when 4 hours update, you want to get out of that before the pullback. Let it hold up. If it holds up on BWAP, a nice little 5 minutes, 15 minutes reset. That's because K held D, and it wants some more into EOD. But for now, you don't want to, you want to make sure that you separate the time, which is the behavior of time, or pre-market after hours, market opens midday, and EOD, because midday is not really lunch hours. Midday when the candle updates in 4 hours, you have to make sure how that behaves, or how is that coming into a perspective that it should be able to run EOD or not, or pull back into EOD. So learn how 4 hours behave, when the updates, how it updates, and then how you push with the help of daily and weekly, and you should be having a nice prediction, but not prediction, but trades. Because when it comes to money here, guys, if I'm betting $100, I'm sure someone else is probably betting $2,000, and then if someone else is betting 100 or $50, it could be a lie to them. Well, me, I could be betting $4,000, $5,000, and earning $500, $400 is probably not not as good trade, but it's still all right. But people probably earning $3, $4 is not a lot. They want to earn the $400, $500. But you have to make sure to understand how the consistency kind of comes in. You have to make sure you grow your account with consistency, but also patiently. You have to be able to wait, but actually know how to attack the right setups. Attack the right setups, the right trades, and just go for it. Don't hesitate, because at the end of the day, you'll learn from mistakes, but you'll learn from being right also. If you keep being right, what happens is because you're doing the right thing. But also don't let it go over your head pretty much. If you're being right, go over it. Why you right? You got to make sure why you're being right. It's not you're right because you got it. You got to make sure that you're being right and then understanding why you're being right so you can be right again. Because today could be right and tomorrow can just hit you in the back and steal your profit and steal your even money from your own main account that you started with. So what I'm saying is learn how to have the consistency in price, but also in tickers. But if you notice for the past weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have alerted a lot of good tickers that have run us profit every single day. And we should have ended in profit by the end of the day if we would have followed the profits exactly. Wow. I do it because every single 8:30 to 9, I never really put alerts out in intentions, or something is building up. Then that's whenever I alert it after 10, 11. But my main alerts come into 8:30 in the morning Central Time, and if you're ready, have it open by 8:30, 8:45, 9, 8:50. That's the time that I'm start alerting. So you got to make sure you're in the screen ready. You're like, okay, look, he's typing. Let me see what he's up to. Boom, boom, boom. And you see, boom. You jump into that. As soon as you see the alert, you see what I'm talking about, examine it. And if you see it good, jump on it with it. If, make sure if it's dipping right, 1 minute reset, you let it go, do its thing, and you follow that alert based on that trade, because what it's important here is the risk. If you enter something and I tell you, hey, BWAP risk, and you enter it and just, fades, not fades, pull back, and the next day runs up the higher again, you're going to be like, man, what the heck? Why did I just, have a BWAP risk if this thing could have come back? We're looking at bigger pictures here. We want to make sure that we are, make sure that we can hold that little pullback, because tomorrow and the next day is going to come back. You could be negative $1,000, negative $500, and the next 2 days run your profit again. That is the idea here is, is to buy high, sell high, or buy support, sell, sell high. So have that plan, have the mindset, and you should always be ready for whatever's coming to your way. Never say never, like they said. But I was always trying to learn every day, because that's what matters, is learning every day, guys and girls. I guess I'll see you next time. Peace.